morning and welcome to today's almost daily devotional. We're going to continue in Acts. We're moving on to chapter 3 today. We'll come back to the end of chapter 2 in a couple weeks during worship. So today we're going to skip the last half of the chapter, which deals with Pentecost and with the community of believers and what's happening in their lives. And we're going to move on to chapter 3. And this is sort of the church having to decide what ministry looks like, what happens in church ministry after Pentecost, after they've received the Spirit. So let's listen to these words from Acts. Peter and John were going up to the temple at 3:00 in the afternoon, the established prayer time. Meanwhile, a man crippled since birth was being carried in. Every day, people would place him at the temple gate, known as the Beautiful Gate, so he could ask for money from those entering the temple. When he saw Peter and John about to enter, he began to ask them for a gift. Peter and John stared at him. Peter said, "Look at us." So the man gazed at them, expecting to receive something from them. Peter said, "I don't have any money, but I will give you what I do have. In the name of Jesus Christ, the Nazarene, rise up and walk." Then he grasped the man's right hand and raised him up. At once his feet and ankles became strong. Jumping up, he began to walk around. He entered the temple with them, walking, leaping, and praising God. All the people saw him walking and praising God. They recognized him as the same one who used to sit at the temple's beautiful gate asking for money. They were filled with amazement and surprise at what had happened to them. So Peter and John are the leaders of this new community of believers. At the end of chapter 2, we get this lovely picture of a church which is meeting together, is worshiping God, is breaking bread together, shares all things in common. It's a holistic, beautiful community, but it's entirely internally focused. It's all about the people who show up at the house to worship God. It's all about the people who are there, this little sanctuary that they've built against the world, against the harshness of the world. In chapter 3, they hear that is not the reality. They don't get to live in that sanctuary. They don't get to stay there. They can't live inside the walls of the community they've built and minister and be part of the ministry of Jesus. They have to go out. They have to be part of the world, and that means getting dirty. It means getting in the midst of the muck and the mire, and it means meeting people where they are. It's challenging because what they want to do is they want to hang out with each other and eat bread and drink wine and laugh and have a good time and worship God together and live in this comfortable, safe community. But that's not where God's ministry is happening. They're called to go out and to minister to the crippled man at the gate. So Peter and John meet him and they talk to him, and all they offer him is healing. All they offer him is healing. And there's lots of ways to offer healing in this world. This man gets healed because he's crippled, and they heal him with the power of Jesus. But there's lots of ways people are crippled in this world. There's lots of ways people are suffering and in pain in this world. How do we, as followers of Christ, offer healing to them? How do we say, Jesus heals you, get up and walk? We can't do that if we're in our sanctuary.